is Mel Andres, and so I am doing this hoike, which means a show on behalf of Alay Sayaw. So this is in collaboration with Professor Grace Odal Devora's Alay Sayaw. So we are doing this in synchronicity with her own project of doing Alay Sayaw in somewhere in the province of Rizal, right? So now I am here in Canada, so it's not possible for me to go there and do the Alay Sayaw, so I am doing a hoike instead here. So I will be explaining to you what this hoike is all about. And so I'm speaking in English because many of my followers are here in the North America, but I'll try my best to also be speaking in Tagalog. So what I will be presenting here is a mix of the mythology or the belief and traditions of both the Tagalog tradition as well as the Hawaiian tradition. Okay, so I will be presenting three meles or three songs. Okay, all of these are folk songs or songs that originated from the Philippines, especially in the Tagalog region. One is in the Ilocos region. Okay, so the first one is the Butya ng Pasig, and the second one is the Sampaguita, okay, which was composed in Spanish by Dolores Paterno, La Flor de Manila. But I'm using here the version of the mabuhay singer Sampaguita. And the other one is Naranag na Buwan, okay, but in Hawaiian version, so that I'll be able to present to you how I interpret this song in the Hawaiian. So the language spoken in this song is Hawaiian, but the tune is the Ilocano version of Naranag na Buwan. Okay, so this is a celebration on February 27th, which is the full moon. Okay, so there's a lot of myth about the moon, right? So, and this is part of the celebration, and I think one important element of this myth about the moon is that the moon represents the feminine power. Okay, so we are celebrating that feminine power, especially among Hawaiians. This is very much significant, relevant to them, because the moon was named after a Hawaiian goddess called Mahina. Okay, so that's it, you know. And so somehow this goddess the story is somehow similar to the story of our gods and goddesses in the Philippines also, especially among the Tagalog tradition. And among this is also the belief about the mutya, okay, or the paraluman. So I made a research something about paraluman, and then it caught my attention, the song Sampaguita, because in the song Sampaguita, the version written and sung by the mabuhay singer, it refers to a paraluman who was so broken-hearted because her lover seems, maybe her lover was sent to a war, but he never came back. And so broken-hearted, she died waiting for the beloved. That was the time during the revolution, okay? And that song was written by Dolores Paterno. And that was the only song she wrote, and it was written in Spanish. And so the La Flor de Manila refers to the this is the Sampaguita flower. In Hawaii, this is called pikake. Okay, so that's the significance of this. So she is the paraluman who has been waiting for that beloved but didn't come, because maybe unexplainable event. And so, but her devotion to that beloved was there that even in her death, she made a promise that she will wait. And by waiting for that person, so the symbol was the beautiful flower, pikake, or the sampagita. And to us Filipinos, this sampagita is our national identity. So every time we wear a sampagita lehi, it reminds us of who we are. Okay, the purity, our devotion to that lady who has laid down her life and waiting for us. And that lady, because there is also double meaning in our songs, you know. So while the song, that's why it's called kundiman. So a kundiman is a love song, but underneath that love song is hidden the patriotic desire. So that desire of the beloved, which is the motherland, for the beloved to come back to her and be reunited to her, so that she will live forever for him. Okay, and the same thing is also true to the legend of the mutya. Okay, so in the legend of the mutya, is also a paraluman, a princess who vanished simply because she would exist only if that love is still prevailing among her people. But it seems that her people has forgotten her. She protected them from any danger. Okay, so when she was forgotten, then she disappeared, but then she made a promise that she will come back. And that's the relevance of this song Mutya ng Pasig. Okay, the last mele that I will be dancing hula to is entitled Eka Mahina Hoku. Actually, this is a translation of an Ilocano song. O Naranyag Ti Bulan. Okay, and this Ilocano song was also translated before into Tagalog, and the title was O Maliwanag na Buwan. And this song tells about a lover's prayer to the moon, praying that somehow he may be able to find his lover. Okay, so that's a prayer to the moon. So the moon seems to be a mystical figure, and that is present almost in any culture. And usually the moon seems to be the witness of many lovers during their rendezvous, right? So yung mga nanliligaw, yan. Even in Hawaiian culture, that's why the moon is named after a goddess, Mahina. And Mahina, the goddess Mahina, decided that she would want to live in the moon. And Mahina has been the witness of many love stories. And so many lovers would pray to Mahina too. Okay? And so the moon becomes the witness to a lover's prayer. Now watch me as I tell you stories through this hula. First, the story of the paraluman in the song Sampagita. After this, the story of the paraluman in the song The Mutya ng Pasig. And finally, the story about a lover's prayer to the moon.
Sampagita ng aking bayan, bulaklak na bango ng buhay, simputi ng sumpang dalisay ng pagsintang di mamamatay. Ikaw raw ang dating pagsuyo ng dalagang minsan mangako sa binatang dagling lumayo ay naghihintay ang dakilang puso. Sa pagluha, sa libingan, nakita'y halaman, bulaklak ay puti, may tanda ng buhay. Sumpa kita ang waring tulog sa bawat nagdaraan. Buhat noon, pinangan lang sampagitan. Ang halamang puso, luha ng dalaga. Kaya ang hanap ay pag-asa, laging nagpupunta sa dibdib ng tanging sampagitan. Sa bayan kong mahal, ang sampagitan, sumpang walang hanggan. Ang pusong tunay na magmahal ay sampagitang di mapaparang.
Kung gabing ang buwan sa langit ay nakadungaw, tila ginigising ng habagat sa kanyang pagtulog sa tubig. Ang isang larawang puti at busirak, narugay ang buhok na animoy agos. Ito ang mutya ng Pasig. Ito ang mutya ng Pasig. Sa kaniyang pagsiklot sa maputing bulak, kasabay ang awit, kasabay ang tula. Dati akong paralungan sa kaharian ng pag-ibig, ang pag-ibig ng mamatay, naglori
E kamahina oku E maliu mai nei leo Hoi ke ae oi ai ko nani a malama mai no
You might be wondering why a Filipino folk song is being sung in Hawaiian. So this is only to show you the interweaving stories between Filipinos and Hawaiians, since many Hawaiians are also Filipinos. And this shows how our music, our culture are intertwined. We share the same history, we share the same struggle, and this is how we show our solidarity to fellow Filipinos as well as with fellow Hawaiians. Hula is keeping the tradition, making it alive. So whether it is Hawaiian or whether it is Filipino, the responsibility in doing hula is to be able to perpetuate the story that comes from one generation to another. And so here, the songs, the mele, like telling about the song, the story about the mutya, the story about the experience of Dolores Paterno, about the Sampaguita. This is perpetuated through singing of this song and expressing it through hula. That's why in the Halaw, we try to practice to make it perfect every moves, so that every moves that we do will be able to express the intention, the sentiments of the composer of the song, of the story. So we'll be able to faithfully convey to you the meaning of the story. And this in itself is our worship. Especially for this celebration of the full moon, celebrating the mutya. Simply, in every culture, there will always be that myth of a goddess, and that goddess is in us, okay? And so even in the Hawaiian, so we call it mana, the power that is within. And that is something that is sacred. And the same thing with the mutya. The mutya is from within. And so if we have that love, we have that aloha, so the mutya, the goddess in us, will arise and be able to permit the world, which we call the Aina. And so this tells a story about the intertwining of both cultures, Filipino and Hawaiian. And so I am here in solidarity with all of you. So whatever race or creed, so my halaw is open, especially for non-Hawaiians, since my gift having been born and raised in the Philippines, so I have the gift of understanding people who are not brought up as Hawaiian. So I'll be able to share with you what it means to live aloha. So, good night to everyone and have a good full moon.